What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about the hidden secret to starting a business while you have a job. And this is one of the things that I find to be really important. And this is the hidden secret. I'm not going to wait until the end of the video to tell you. You must remove time from the process. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that, and I'm going to shape it up for you. So the first thing that you have to do, and this is a big problem for a lot of people. What kind of business should you start? That is a huge issue for many people. What type of business should I start? How should I start it? How much money I need? I'm going to walk you through the whole process. Number one, starting a business that you actually know something about. And this is a huge mistake that many people make. Many people will go out and try to start a business that they know nothing about without a firm understanding of the whole process. Like, let me walk you through it. Let's say you wanted to get into a business that you knew nothing about, and you got into it and you were learning the business and running the business at the same time. Now, this is something that can be done, but it's typically going to be usually really challenging for a person to do this. This is going to be very different in terms of people setting this up. So you go ahead, you start this business you don't know anything about. So you got to learn the business, run the business, manage the business, and make money all at the same time, which usually is a big burden for the average person. So typically, this is why people like template businesses, Turo, Airbnb, Amazon FBA, Etsy. Why do people like these businesses? Because if you can go ahead and get into Turo or Airbnb or Etsy or Amazon FBA at a high level, these factors find customers for you. And this is one of the hardest things about starting a business you don't know anything about: how to get customers. And this can be a really dogmatic thing with one of the things that you're doing. So one of the things that you have to understand is you're looking at a lot of downside. I don't know anything about this business. I'm trying to run this business. I'm trying to get customers. I'm trying to learn this business. So that's typically the hardest way to start a business when you have a job. Starting a business, doing something that you don't know anything about. Let me share with you my experience of starting businesses that I didn't know anything about. I was in the military and I started multiple businesses that all failed because, number one, I didn't have the knowledge base. I didn't have the understanding of how to run a business, how to set up a business. So that was one of the big issues. And as I began to really understand that I didn't know how to start a business, I didn't know how to sell, I didn't know, there were so many things I just didn't know. And I became demoralized. I really got to the point where I was just like, bump this, I'm not gonna do this anymore. So I actually got on the point where I did not try to start another business for about 8 years. And what happened was I got into a different framework. I got into a very different framework. And the framework was full of enterprising, motivated, deeply passionate people who were all about being successful, about doing the things that they needed to do to go ahead and set themselves apart from the other people in their industry. So with this, I just kind of fast forward. Went through a period, got a job, got another job, got my third job. My third job, I was selling commercial office furniture. And this is where I learned how to start a business while I had a job. Because, I enjoyed my job. I liked my job. I wasn't going to leave my job. And then I had this opportunity to start a business with my job. Now, here's where things get really, really interesting. My business, the first successful business that I started while I had a job, was very similar to what I was doing for my full-time job. So I was selling brand new commercial office furniture for my full-time job, right? Then I started selling used commercial office furniture for my business. So even though I was selling new as my job and selling used, and essentially this opened up because I had a bunch of people that I had talked to who could not afford new office furniture. They were not looking for new office furniture. So I just hey, we spoke a while. Are you still looking for some office furniture? I just came across a bunch of good quality used office furniture, and I think the price would be appropriate for you. Oh, really? Okay. Let's set up a meeting. And it was just that simple. See, this is where people run into problems and run into issues. They go ahead and try to do things that they've never done before at a very high level. Now, this is not to say that you can't do it, but once again, what did I say? Remove time. Because when I removed time, I still had a job. I still had to do my job. I did not neglect my job duties. And my time for work dramatically increased. I went from about 55 hours a week to clear 75 hours a week. I was often working on the weekends. I was often working at night, but I was making money from my business. And this is one of the things that you have to understand, and this is one of the things that you have to look at. If you go ahead and have this understanding of, all right, I want to start a business, but I want to start a business over here. If you could somehow find a way to get employed in that business, or you can find a way to actually work with someone in that business before you start, that is going to be 100 times better than you just starting off from scratch in this business that you don't know anything about, that you've never done before. And it's just going to open a new door for you to become successful. It's going to open up a new paradigm. It's going to essentially set you up to be really successful, because you will actually learn something before you start the business. And this is what I learned, because all those businesses I started that completely failed, completely crashed and burned, I had no clue to what I was doing. And then first business I start doing what I was already doing, it's the most successful. It was really successful from a financial standpoint. It was successful from a feeling standpoint. It was successful from a point of me understanding, because I knew what I had to do. I knew I had to call customers. I knew I had to show furniture. I knew exactly what I had to do. So one of the things that you guys have got to understand is you've got to get the skill sets of setting yourself up to where you can become successful and where you can do the things that you need to do so you can become that person who has a successful business, and you're enjoying life and you're making money. Because this is one of the biggest lessons that I learned. All those businesses that I tried to start when I didn't know anything, they were learning lessons, because I learned a lot. Each business taught me something that I didn't know. And then when I got to my first successful business, I got a clear understanding of what it takes to start a successful business. I got a clear understanding of it's about having the appropriate skill sets, hands down, because Now I knew what it was to become a salesman. I knew what it was to present products to clients. I knew exactly what I had to do. And then my business, I made so much money so quickly. It was staggering. It was eye-popping. It was shocking. And at that point, I was pretty secretive. I didn't really tell people my business. And, I had friends who were just like, man, you're really busy. You just don't have time to hang out like you used to. I was like, yeah, I got some things going on. I'm working on some stuff. But in the future, yeah, I'll have time to hang out. But right now, I got to get this done. And with that whole process of getting it done, building up the business, it literally changed my life because I have an understanding of the things that you need to do to become successful. I have an understanding of the things that you need to do to start a business. I have an understanding of the things you need to do to become successful. And with this understanding, this literally opened up the door to me being able to train people for these things. So there will be some more training coming up really soon, and just stay tuned and I will let you guys know about the training, because starting a business, setting up a business is not rocket science hard. But if you don't understand what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing, you don't have a pathway, then this is one of the things that will hold you back, keep you in the same spot. So here's the thing, you got to remove time. You got to take time out of it. You must work hard. And this right here is an area that is really, for people who are real, for people who understand how business works, you automatically know that you must put in the time to be successful. And with an understanding of that, the time and the effort and just removing time out the equation and setting yourself up to be successful is one of the things that you have to understand is very important for you to go forth and to start your business, to serve your customers well, and to make money. This is one of the things that you will do. So hopefully you got something out of this, and understanding and a greater empowerment of what it takes to start a business while you have a job. If you start a business doing something that you already know how to do, the chances of being successful is like 95%. It's not 4%, it's like 95% the chance of success. So hopefully you got some out of this. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.